Everybody, Tom Stewart here. This is Smart Business Moves. Liz is taking the day off. I think actually this is her birthday week. Her birthday is tomorrow. So make sure everybody reaches out and give Liz a shout out for her birthday tomorrow. And I think she's on a cruise somewhere, actually. Anyway, I know that she's not going to be with us on Smart Business Moves today. We do have a couple of awesome guests that are going to be joining us today. Diana Henley and her daughter Candice Rodriguez are going to be with us, and we're going to be talking about some pretty interesting stuff on employee engagement because they run Naturalcare, house cleaning service, as well as pest control, and they're down in Houston, Texas, and they do some really awesome stuff with employee engagement, and it's going to be fun getting them on here. At the moment, they're having some technical difficulties with their browser or something. I don't know. I'm not sure, but they're efforting, and here they are. Hey, Diana and Candice, how you guys doing?
Sorry, Tom. Give me 1 second.
No worries.
There we go. We had to do an alternate plan.
Okay. Well, this works. This works.
Hey.
I was just explaining that we're kind of going solo today because Liz's birthday is tomorrow. I think she's on a cruise somewhere.
Yes.
And, left us here to do the work, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Let me just
appreciate you guys joining us today.
Do what? We can't really hear you for some reason. Let me try to figure that out. It's all the way up.
Can you not hear me?
We can, just not very well.
Okay.
Oh, wait, that was better.
You want me to talk louder?
Can you hear us okay?
I can hear you fine.
Oh, well, that's what's important.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. It is. Nobody can hear me. Okay. Before we get started, I have a public service announcement to make. I want to share some information that we can all benefit from as an industry. This is a Facebook post that is in the ARCC Residential Cleaning Group website. If you're not a member of ARCC, you really need to be. It is the industry trade association. And Royce Ard, who's a friend of Smart Business Moves, a friend of us. I mean, he's an awesome contributor to the industry. He's in Washington, D.C. right now, part of ISSA's Clean Advocacy Summit. And basically, they're up there lobbying Congress on the behalf of the cleaning industry. And one of the things that they're doing is they're trying to get Congress to extend the employee retention tax credit into fourth quarter of last year. And if they're able to do that for a lot of cleaning companies, residential cleaning companies, listeners to this show, you'll qualify for another quarter's worth of tax credits under ERTC, which is like free money from the government, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Royce is up there working hard for us, along with a lot of other people from ISSA. And there's a link here that he posts to make it incredibly easy to send email to your people who represent you in Congress, your 2 senators and whoever your local House of Representatives person is. And I am going to copy that link and paste it in chat. And I did this, and I don't have a lot of patience for administrative stuff. And if I've got a form, it has to fill out a whole bunch of stuff. I a lot of times lose my train of thought, forget what it is I'm supposed to be doing, and kind of move on to something else. But straight up, this took me 30 seconds, guaranteed. Awesome. Less than a minute. So I'd like to share that, and I would like to encourage everybody who's involved with running a professional cleaning service. If you own a professional cleaning service, take 30 seconds out of your day and click on that link and send something to the people who represent you in Congress and tell them you could use, you need them to help you help, your employees and community. And in other words, tell them to do their job and sign this bill.
Mm-hmm. Excellent.
And if you really want to be on top of your House of Representatives type people, here's a link to another document that Roy shared of all of the congressmen who have basically endorsed this bill. They're co-signers of the bill, so to speak. And you can send them an email as well. If your local House of Representatives person isn't on this list, send them an email and tell them that they need to be.
Yeah.
So we're political activists. So how the heck are you guys? How's everybody down in Houston?
It's springtime. We're doing wonderful. We love this time of year.
Does that mean there's a lot of pollen to clean off?
So much pollen. My face is tearing as we speak. Yes.
That's not just a South Carolina thing, then.
No. Oh my gosh. Can you see? Yeah, no, I'm dying here. Yeah, but it's beautiful. I love it. It's our favorite time of year. We get good growth.
Yeah. It seems like there's something to this whole spring cleaning thing. You know?
Oh, for sure. And everyone's looking for a job. It's a good time of year.
It's all coming together, isn't it?
Right.
Candice, how are you? How have you been?
Doing pretty good. Definitely keeping busy.
Okay. It's better than being bored, right?
Very true. Yes.
Never a dull day. So, Diana, you and Chad, I guess, started the business and you're still actively involved in it, but your daughter Candice has taken over. You guys
Sorry, Tom, I lost you. I can't hear you again.
Can you hear me now?
Let me just fix it real quick.
How about now?
For some reason, I can't hear you, Tom.
At all. Okay. Well, I'm not sure how to fix that. You were hearing me a minute ago, correct? You know.
Let's see. Let's just.
Okay. Did that fix anything?
Just 1 second.
Is your volume on?
Okay. Well, I'm sure that they're working to address their technical difficulties. They'll be back with us in a moment. Hopefully everything's going to be working right. Again, Diana and her husband, Chad, started Naturalcare a number of years ago. I'm not sure. They'll be able to share that with us. Diversified into basically another business. They started the pest control business, and there's synergy between them, and they kind of trade off between the two. I say trade off, they complement each other and cross promote, and it's really a pretty neat business model.
Hi, I think we're for sure now.
Okay, you good now? You hear me?
Yeah.
Awesome.
So sorry. And so you were asking about Chad and I's business?
Yeah, I was kind of explaining while you guys took a quick break there that, you know, Diana, you and Chad started the house cleaning business a number of years ago, decided that pest control would be an interesting way to diversify. They're complementary businesses, and you kind of cross promote them, share some resources. Candice, your daughter, I guess, has gotten a lot more active in managing the day-to-day in the house cleaning business, if I got that right.
Oh yeah, she's pretty much taken that over. 95% probably. We don't really do the day-to-day stuff anymore. Yeah, and the pest control is fabulous. I mean, you know, we do cross promote. So when somebody books a clean, we go right into, and by the way, so that's really nice. Yeah, we've pulled away a bit from the cleaning.
Okay.
Yeah. Thankfully.
Yeah. If any of you have ever had the opportunity to meet Diana, she has a sparkling personality, very outgoing and exciting. And I would be excited to work for Diana, and she's gonna, along with Candace, share with us some of their tricks, techniques, hacks in terms of how they create employee engagement within, I guess, both the house cleaning and the pest control business. More so.
Well, we actually were talking. The one thing that I do for cleaning still that I keep as my primary job is hiring. I do all the hiring. That's the one thing I do. And so Candace and I was asking her, we had major disgruntled employee issues for a lot of years. We just could not figure it out. We thought we were super nice and that was key, and that they would just be grateful for a job, I guess. And that wasn't the case. So Candace mentioned, I think you said something about 3 years ago or so, we had a big turnaround.
Yeah, it was about 3.5 years ago. I noticed we had some PTSD from employees, no call, no show. It was becoming kind of a thing. We didn't know who would actually start and who actually wouldn't. And I was kind of tired of, it was kind of putting a cloud over the trainers. And I was, kind of tired of it always being kind of brought up and making kind of a joke out of, they're gone again, and never hearing from them. So I decided that I wanted to do something different and just start to change how I worked with the employees. And now I was talking about it with my office manager yesterday. I don't think it's been well over a year since we've had an employee leave that didn't communicate with us, or they don't leave. No calls and no shows are not a thing anymore. Mad at us is not a thing anymore. That's just not, it doesn't happen like that anymore.
Okay, you've got my attention. You've got my attention.
You know what I think? A couple of the changes is it starts in the interview. And in the interview process, I asked them, have you ever no call, no showed? And then sometimes the answer is yes, and sometimes it's no. And then if it is yes, I ask them, what were the circumstances around that? What made you do that? And so then I always tell them, either then or at the end when I'm talking about, how we move forward with our process, I tell them, hey, we over communicate. We are high communicators at Naturalcare Cleaning. We're high communicators. And so I commit to you, and these are the words I use. I commit to you that if I have any concerns or worries or anything, I'm going to come straight to you and talk to you about it. You're going to know if the trainer felt like they see a red flag or whatever, we're going to have a conversation with you about. So I commit to you that if I have any concerns, I'm going to come to you about it. Can you commit to me that you'll do the same?
Okay.
Well, I also think it's how you we did change the interview process as well. And I also think, from what I hear on the cleaning text, it's the way she presents the interviewing process as well. It's not just reading anymore. In the past, you had to read everything. It's not just talking. It's very visual. There's videos. There's, do you understand? It's a whole different process of interviewing. And it's really, we would have employees leave because they didn't understand. They'd get their first paycheck and they're upset, or they thought she said this, or, well, Diana said this, and we just don't have that anymore. It's very transparent, very clear.
So tell me about that. You have videos that you show candidates as part of the interview process?
Oh, yeah. So I send them a video. If it's somebody that I like and I want to invite them for an interview, I send them a video, and the video is, I am very, well, Tom, you know me. I talk a lot. I'm going to get the point across one way or the other. So, but the video is very helpful because I show them, this is exactly how you're getting paid. So we pay percentage. And so it's really hard for people to understand. Here's how you get paid. And here's a picture of a house. Here's a picture of a car. Here's a picture of a house. This clock in to clock out all this time. This is how you get paid. But then I also show them a payroll report. And so I refresh this video periodically and I run a payroll report and I say, Okay, let's look and see what they did on this week. Okay, so it looks like my full-time employees made this much. This is how many tips they made. And they can't see the names, but they can see everything else. They can see tips, who was bonused, how much their weekly pay was, what their hourly pay was. And then when I interview them, I say, what'd you think about that video? Did you understand our pay structure? There is a rare bird that can explain to me at that point how we get paid. So then we review it again and say, okay, so this is percentage pay is what it's called, and this is what it means. And did you know that if you get your bonus, that's another $1.50 an hour? And did you know, look at this, they're making anywhere from $30 to $50 to $60 in tips. And can you, oh, look at these people down here that didn't get their bonus. They didn't get any tips. So we go into full explanation, during the process, because Candice is right. We would lose people. They didn't understand the pay structure. They were frustrated, and so I find that we need to just say it over and over again.
So the workflow on that, I fill out an application.
Mm-hmm.
Imagine there's some online process that
Mm-hmm.
you get that, and you take a look at it. You think, I don't know, Tom might be able to clean some homes. What's the process at that point?
So we actually, I was 100% in Indeed until recently. I used to do big group interviews, and so it was all very automated, but I never got a good look at their resume. So I didn't like that. And it was a waste of my time, I felt like. So now it's automated again. We recently automated it again. And so they go, I send them over to our online application. They fill it out. And then I just click yes in my and keep Infusionsoft.
Okay.
And then it starts sending them their text messages and emails, inviting them to watch this video. Hey, I'd love to see you. Can you go look at this video? And if it sounds good to you, then click on my calendar and make an appointment with me.
So the video, it explains percentage pay and how all of that works. You send that to them before you even have a discussion with them.
Before I have a discussion, I want them to be really clear on what kind of interview. And what I hear a lot is a lot of people saying that Indeed is full of scammers, right? Or the jobs aren't real clear, or they took a customer service job and it's not a customer service job, it's a sales position. So I think people are very distrustful. I heard Candice, an employee had questions about her payroll, and I saw her messaging Candice about it. And she was like, I'm not trying to cause trouble by asking about my paycheck. That was her attitude. And we were like, oh man, bless your heart. No, that's your money. Ask all the questions you need to ask. But I think people aren't very trustworthy. I think there's a lack of trust out there. And so we had a company meeting and we were talking about that because I wanted to bring up this person asking about her paycheck. And we encourage you, if you have any questions or what, this is your money, you're working hard for this. And we want to be 100% transparent. And that's key for us. Open.
Especially if you're talking percentage pay, because that sounds a lot like commission. And it's like, if I don't sell anything, do I not make any money type stuff? I mean, that raises a lot of flags when you start going down that path.
It does. And there's a lot of scary, fake jobs on Indeed, and we have to compete with that. So,
but you still, I presume you still use Indeed to recruit candidates.
I do. I still use Indeed, but I think, I think just being so open and friendly and adding that transparency just kind of gives us a leg up.
Okay.
Because they're seeing, when I'm telling you, hey, look, you're going to make $18 an hour. I can prove this to you. So I'm saying it, I'm going to give you the proof. And now you're going to go work with people that are actually doing it. They're going to reiterate that. So yeah, it's changed a lot the last couple of years, just our relationship. And it's so crazy. Not that we don't have employee issues, but they're not, because we certainly still make mistakes, right? We don't tackle an issue as quickly, or we don't really love having those unpleasant conversations. So we might procrastinate a little bit on that sometimes. But by and large, we're just not making those big mistakes.
Right. Okay. So it sounds like that this rigorous interviewing process is kind of one of the keys to get employee engagement, which I guess it kind of makes sense. If you make a good hire, your odds of getting a good outcome go up a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so I actually took over onboarding in the beginning of COVID because the person who was doing it was no longer with us. And I went ahead and took it over. And one thing I do is I go right back to that video and I pull it up again. And I say, come sit right next to me, sit on my side of my desk. Let's go over. And I go through each page with them. And I start at the beginning of the PowerPoint and I just go through and I go over everything. I take that same PowerPoint, that first paycheck, and I bring them in again and I pull up their online summary and I say, okay, let's pull it up. Do you want to do it on your phone or my computer? Okay, let's look at the PowerPoint. Let's go over it again. And then that following Friday, I do it one more time. Okay, you've had 2 paychecks. The first one, which kind of, you may have started midweek. Here's a full week. Let's review it and see what you think. Questions, anything. So, because we would have some people get their first paycheck and they felt like they worked really hard and then they saw it, may not realize it was only 3 days, and then they would be upset.
Yeah, because then I guess they worked the full following week
Mm-hmm.
to get that first paycheck. I'm like, gee whiz, I've been here, 7
Right.
Yes.
days and I didn't make very much because you
Yeah.
only get paid for 2 of them.
Yeah, so I actually keep a calendar on my desktop as the background, and I include, it says pay dates on there. So I show them, again, very visual. So here's where you started. So it looks like it was 3 days here. This week will be 5 days. And so I make sure that within the 2 weeks of them being there, we've had 3 conversations about the PowerPoint. And I go over each home, making sure, that they're fully understanding it. Everything's transparent about where they're getting it, what's going on, how they're getting it, and then going forward.
Mm-hmm. It seems like a lot, doesn't it? Like we're talking to them a lot, but because we're both doing it and there's a lot of visuals and there's video and all that, it doesn't feel like a lot.
Mm-mm.
Well, if you just look at the numbers, the turnover numbers, and look at the likelihood of somebody leaving like in the first 30 days is, is the highest, and you can get them through 30 days. Then if you can get them to 90 days, things are starting to look really good at that point. So it would make sense that you want to be talking to people on a very regular basis when they first start with you, because that's when they're at risk.
Mm-hmm. And we kind of, the last maybe 2 months, we've had we've had more people leave, but that was on purpose. So we raised our expectations, and started, we have a quality manager who is sweet as pie and would go, man, but she really likes these people and she just knows they're trying so hard. And it took me a while to convince her that was definitely affecting her bonus. her,
like see these scorecard scores, you see these unhappy customers, you see.
Right. It's amazing how her week frees up when she's not chasing bad quality. And so, the last, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 months, she has, kind of held people to the standards a little stronger. And so I tried not to let that, I can't let that kind of separation, somebody separating from our company, bother me, when I'm looking at my employee attrition numbers, because that needs to happen. This is a hard job.
No.
I never lose that fact. This is a hard job.
It's kind of funny because you just look at the high level, you got to find people who want to clean homes. You got to find homes to clean, and you kind of mix them up and schedule and dispatch. You clean up. I mean, you can explain it in like 25 words or less. It doesn't sound that hard.
I know, but it is.
Yeah, I know.
It is. I mean, the cleaning part's hard, and we acknowledge that. And I go through that part in the interview process too, not in a way that I want to scare them away, but but I just I make sure they understand this is very physical. If they've worked in restaurants, I never worry about them. I never worry about them because they've been on their feet running around for a full shift. So I don't really worry about them too much. Other jobs, I go into a bit more detail, and we tell them how to take Epsom salt baths, and your body's going to hurt, and expect some discomfort for a week or two. And, every now and then now we'll have somebody that said, actually, we just had somebody who had 2 damages her first week, and she was very unhappy about it. And she told me, you said during the interview process that this job is harder than people think it is.
Right.
Yes. And I didn't believe you, but now I believe you.
But she's still here.
She is still here. I mean,
she's doing better.
I know. I had to talk her off the ledge. But
So maybe part of that is setting the expectation that it feels really hard right now, but if you can hang with this a few weeks,
yes.
Each week it'll be a little bit easier, and you'll look back on it and it won't seem hard at all, but you just got to get there from here.
And I tell them that the first couple of weeks, your body, that's going to be the biggest thing to you is how your body feels. But then after that, you're never going to think about it again. Once you've been doing it for a while, the physical part of it is the least, it's not the big problem. Then it's things like managing your time or communicating fully with the office. And so, the first couple of weeks, let's look for some body aches and some discomfort. And then after that, let's talk about, not getting all stressed out and anxious, but just keeping a good click and paying attention and things like that. That seems to help too. They need, the same with our clients. We have to be very clear on what to expect.
Could you argue that a benefit of being a professional house cleaner is it will keep you more fit? I mean, part of the whole process is I'm tired, I'm sore, but after doing it for 30 days, it doesn't feel as hard as it used to. I mean,
one of my dad jokes is you can cancel your gym membership now. We are your gym. You're getting paid to work out.
We're paying you. You don't have to pay us.
We asked during a company meeting one time, we went around the room and asked everybody, what is the hardest part of this job? And what's what part is the hardest part and what part do you love the most? And not one person said the hardest part was the physical part on their body. These people had all been with us for a while and nobody said a word about my body hurts. They said things like, I don't like sitting in traffic, or, I don't like walking into a house that I don't know what to expect. They said, I get stressed out about how much time the home is supposed to be, things like that, but those are things that we start coaching them, on week 3 and 4.
Yeah, that's interesting because there's a lot of, in any one of those things that people don't like could contribute to a lack of employee engagement and could, lead to higher turnover. So what are some of the things, when you get that feedback about being stuck in traffic or going into a home that you aren't familiar with? Are there ways to, that's kind of a thing. If you can make that better, then you're going to have happier employees too, right? So what can you offer to deal with some of the other issues that make people not like their job?
I offer them Candice. And so a few years ago, I started trying to identify all the reasons why we were losing people. And one thing was it was not necessarily being heard. And if they were being heard, nothing would happen. So I actually do a monthly survey and I send it out, and there's not much to it. It's 3 things you're really happy with Naturalcare and 3 things you would change about Naturalcare. I send it out, and then a little bottom has a little note section, and what I send them out, I get them back. It takes me probably about 30 to 45 minutes, but I make a point to do something with them. I make sure everybody knows I'm doing stuff with them. So I separate them as things I can change right away and things I need to get extra help or support with to change, and things I can't change, but I know I need to address. And every single time I get them back, I make sure they know this is a great idea. We're gonna do this. I'm working on this right now, and I'll make a point to say, hey, I'm still working on this. By next week, we're gonna see some changes. And you know, and even if I can't change them, I do let them know that I've acknowledged it. And here's why I can't change it. It's a great idea. Maybe next time we'll try to see what we could do with it. And once I started sending those out and actually doing something about it, it made it a lot easier with my relationship with the employees, because they knew that if they came to me with an issue, I was going to do something about it. And actually, when like I said, I took over onboarding. When I took that over, I made sure, I was just tired of losing employees because it was super stressful on the office. And I started training my office staff to think of the employees as their clients. We need to keep these clients in our staff because, you know, to get the houses done, we need them to be happy. So we need to change the way we're addressing everything, because I need the employees to be happy. And so we just, anytime I hear anybody say anything, I'm like, oh, how are we going to fix it? It's no longer a you issue. This is when I'm talking to the staff members and the employees, we're going to do this together. We need to figure this out. And I started changing just my, what are you going to do? Or you got a quality issue, or, you know, you're having time issues. Everything is about what we can do to fix it. I made it a personal thing to make sure I'm helping them go through the process as much as I can. We still have policies, we still have procedures that have to be followed, but I'm going to do everything I can to get you on the right track. That way you can take over and do what you need to do. And once I started really working one-on-one with their issues and really trying to, if they have to communicate about something, letting them know I'm going to change it. It really opened my door with the employees, because, you know, if I have an upset employee, I'm getting a message, I'm getting a call, they're going to come say, hey, I need to talk to you. They're not leaving storming out, because they know I'm going to do as much as I can to fix them. As long as they're doing their part too, I'm going to do as much as I can on my end. And we actually changed the way we were training too, to kind of fit that. I know that in the cleaning world, time is a really big thing, but it's also a really stressful thing for new people. Some people have, you know, anywhere from a week training, couple of weeks training. But that's one of the stressful parts, is when you go out into the team or solos, you're timed. And we would lose a lot of people because they would be getting off training and they're frantic about the time, or their time is not up to somebody that's been here for 6 months. So during our first week, we only follow policies, procedures, and quality, because realistically, we're willing to work with somebody more that's having time issues versus quality issues. You know, if they're having great quality, we can work on the time, but if, you know, quality's bad, that's harder to fix after a couple of weeks. So the first week we will have a conversation about time, but we're strictly focusing on policies, procedures, and quality. After the first week, they'll be introduced to time, and then we slowly start to push the time a little bit more at a time. Not half a person, not a full. We just slowly start to working on it. Week 3 is when we really turn on the time. They still have the cushion, but then that's when we start really applying the time, talking to them more about the time. But policies, procedures, and quality already passed us. So at this point, we're just working on building your time, which we say 3 to 4 weeks is what we give them for time. Most people are pretty good after that 3rd week.
So your actual training process, let me back up a second. Mm-hmm. Do you guys do teams or solos?
We're solos now.
Solos. So you hire somebody with the understanding that I'm going to be cleaning homes by myself.
Yes.
So do you match them up with a trainer for some period of time?
Yes. So they will work with a trainer for 2 weeks. And then that 3rd and 4th week is they're still technically with a trainer, but it's all verbal. They're not in the same room or anything like that. They get put in a communication platform group together where the head trainer and the field manager are able to communicate with them. They send individual texts every morning to, you know, just those good morning text messages. I'm here for you today. Let me know if you need anything. They do a 12 o'clock text message. Hey, checking on you. And so they are still communicating more than they would a regular solo person. But it's after that 3rd or 4th week where we kind of let them go on their own.
Okay.
But so, the quality manager and the training manager on week 3, they're visiting them in the homes quite regularly. So they're off and they're by themselves, but they're getting a visit very, very regularly. If not every home, at least one a day,
Mm-hmm.
they're getting a visit. So and we tell them that. I tell them that in the hiring process too. This is what it looks like. This is what's going to happen. We're not going to like throw you out to the wolves.
For the first 2 weeks, the trainee is actually with a trainer in the home. They're not working by themselves. Week 3, they start working by themselves, but people are like communicating digitally and showing up, and they're getting a lot of attention for week 3 and 4. And at the end of week 4, I guess the thinking is they should be fast enough and comfortable enough that they don't need that much attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. We keep a very close eye on productivity. That's one of their bonus, that's one of the things that we look at with their bonus. And so, that's the beauty of percentage pay though, isn't it?
That kind of drives that,
4-hour home and they take 4.5 hours. That's fine. Just don't hit your base. As long as you're not hitting your minimum base, and you want to take a look. And some people have told us, I'm fine. You know what? I don't want to make $18, $19, $20 an hour. I'm fine making $16 an hour. Just leave me alone. Let me do it this way. Okay, fine.
Yep, that's a win-win.
And I will say, in the last couple of years, we're so flexible with like their personal needs. We have a lot more part-time. We have one employee that has really good quality. Productivity's decent, but he was late all the time. And I, talked to him at one point and said, instead of your 8 o'clock arrival time, why don't you go to a 9 o'clock arrival time? And I don't care what time you get to your home. I don't care whether you're there at 8 or whether you're at 9. I just want you to do what you say you're going to do. So if you say you're going to be there at 9, be there at 9. Clearly 8 o'clock is not going to work for you. Wow. And so we have a later start time. We have an earlier end time for people. Some people work 9 to 2, some work 8 to 5:30. And we're flexible either way. We have people in college, in classes, because I thought, okay, well, we're going to be pretty hard and fast, though. It's either 9 to 2 or 8 to 5:30. But then I noticed Candice let one person, she started getting off at 1 because she had classes. And so kind of being a bit more flexible with their schedule, man, that's a game changer for a company, I think. Like if you're not flexible in that sense, you're missing some good talent, because college students in particular really, they'll be full-time. And somebody just approached me recently when I go to the office once a week as everybody else does, and came and said, okay, well, I'm part-time, but summer's coming. I want to be full-time summer, so, and we're like, yeah, you're up and down the scale, full-time, part-time, full-time.
They do. Well, it's a great tool to use as well, because I've had, a handful of people that once they get off training, high anxiety, they're panicked about this solo position. So we go, okay, so this week, let's just do, 7:45 to 2. Once you're ready, we'll go up to part or full time, and we'll just take you part time and I've had quite a few people do that, which helps ease their stress or their panic. So they're not going to panic out, leave halfway through. They know, here's what we're doing. Here's a game plan. After this week, we'll go back to full. You have time to build up.
Makes it less overwhelming. And, I guess really, in 2022 post-COVID, it seems like the expectations are even higher, that we need to be more accommodating, more flexible. And, we live in a world and we have the technology and the tools to make that easier to do now. And everybody's kind of working on their own, driving, solos especially. I like what you said, to say what you do and do what you say. And I'll give you some control over saying what you do. But once we agree to that, then, don't say you're going to do it and not do it.
Right. Well, and why not be flexible? Why not? I started cleaning houses because I was a single mom and wanted to drop the kids off at school, clean 2 houses, and pick the kids up from school. It's a perfect job for people that want to, that want that kind of lifestyle. And so why not be flexible? I think it's a perfect opportunity to, to show some grace.
So you've described this workflow all the way from somebody applies for a job and you show them a video, you set some expectations, you're really intense interaction with them, showing you care. Sounds like you're establishing a lot of trust. You're building a lot of trust with these new people that you're hiring, and you get them through this 4-week period. And at that point, I guess they're really kind of done with the training at that point. And they're professionals. What's the trick at that point? I mean, I'm assuming you don't let them just fall off a cliff. So how do you maintain the engagement and keep them, where you want them to be after they complete their 4-week training?
Well, we do the monthly engagement as far as we send out that survey where they fill it out.
Okay.
That does take a lot of communication on my part because I do go through and I check in with them and how's it going. Here's what I'm doing about this. That's a great idea. I'm going to approach this to Diana. We're making changes. That really opened up a lot of communication for me because they're going to come to me with a lot more stuff.
And the feedback that you're giving them and acknowledging that they're doing. Let me ask you a question. There's two schools of thought on that. Some people do surveys and they make them anonymous, and other people do surveys and they require their cleaning professionals to put their name on it. How do you guys do it?
Ours have to have the name on it because if you want me to make action, I need to know who I'm making action for. Because sometimes I have more questions and I bring them in and I have a notepad that I keep them in. I bring them in, I grab my notepad, I'm making notes. I'm very, I make sure they're engaged. They have to sit next to me. If it's a question, I show them on, I pull up Made Central, I'm showing in the schedule and a full explanation about why we can or can't do it. And so I make them part of it. And I want them also, engaging in the conversation. If it's something I can't do, I want to, well, if we did this and this happens, what's going to happen here? I want them to give me feedback and I want them to fully think it out and give me the answers with stuff. Some of it is, some of my training stuff I've changed because of feedback I've gotten from people who recently got off training and filled it out. And that's how I figured out the time thing. I was like, oh, that makes sense. We are losing people to time. So that's really helped out a lot as far as if they need to vent or need something fixed or they don't like something, because it goes over things 3 things they're happy about Naturalcare and 3 things they would change.
And we actually have a monthly meeting and we go to a taco shop down the street. And so we buy breakfast and last month and we did it, I could call out 3 things that Candice changed and thanked them, in the meeting. So the people who had suggestions that didn't come to the table, that we didn't make, I wanted them to know, what, your change, we are not going to do that right now or whatever reason, but we wanted them to know that we are taking action. And one of our employees who's been with us for a year celebrated an anniversary. And when they celebrate, they stand at the front and we have a couple of people say something about him. And what we all said about him is that he comes to the door all the time. He comes to me, he comes to Candice. Hey, this is what I think you should do. This is what I'm seeing. This tool's not working. This is how it should change. And so we all said how not only does he come to us with changes, but then he comes back to see where we're at in the process of making the changes. And, that's something that we really appreciate. So we want, we want all of because some people are kind of shy and some people, their changes aren't really, I think you should redecorate the office was one of them.
Which I do it. I will redecorate for them.
But, it's not as relevant to their job. As some of the, more productive suggestions,
Sure.
I would say.
We do get a great feedback. In the beginning, some of it would be kind of, we would have sillier feedback, but now, I do get great feedback on more than half of them. And there's always a lot of work that I can do and change. And, I start to address with them and let them know. I bring it to Diana. Hey, we need to do this, or this is what they're saying, especially if you have a recurring thing that comes up too.
And it sounds like this monthly meeting where you guys get together, recognizing, hey, Tom, that was an awesome idea you gave us last month. And, we implemented it and now the office looks a whole lot better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And throughout that, my field manager will still, she still visits homes. We have a group chat So I do like birthday shout outs, anniversaries. There's still communication in between. Whenever our staff comes in on Mondays, I'm always, that's our chance to kind of engage. I also do one-on-ones. And so I go through and send them a calendar to do one-on-ones. A lot of it goes over there, how happy are you form, but then I'll do one-on-ones. If I haven't talked to them in a minute, or if they're in and out quickly, I'll do a one-on-one just to see how they're doing, whether it be a phone call or, they come in. I make a point I have a check sheet and I make a point that I'm talking to everybody.
I try to bring something on Mondays. Simple. I just want to talk to everybody. So 2 weeks ago, I brought everybody a
Tulip.
Like a tulip. Yeah, like a little bulb flower. I brought one for everybody because it was the first day of spring and I love spring. And then last week I brought a bucket of candy. And so just to walk to each person and say, hey, I have some candy. Would you like some candy? Hi, I have a donut. Would you like a donut? And I'm carrying it around because it gives me the opportunity to, face to face. Hello, how are you? How's your son? Oh my gosh, I heard about your mom. Are you, just a really quick connection. And then that's it. We don't see him the rest of the week. So Candice, if she has some conversations that she needs to have, we try to get it, as much done. And it's funny because one of the people's feedback was, can we not have meetings on Mondays? We're already so rushed. Do we have to have, those meetings, those one-on-ones? So I noticed Candice scheduling one-on-ones on other days, not making Monday the sacred day because they're already in the office, just having them come in the office on a Tuesday or Wednesday. It's not going to break the bank.
So you have the meeting where everybody gets together once a month, and then you have everybody meet at the office once a week.
Well, they come in just to fill their supplies.
And so forth.
Yeah, that's their day to come in and get their keys or whatever they need for the week.
So Chad and I go into just to say hi to everybody and show our faces. And so, and to give them candy or a tulip.
When they come in to get their supplies, is that all on the same day?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so just on Mondays, that's the only time we see them, unless I schedule a one-on-one or,
And actually,
or it's the monthly taco.
Right.
Okay.
And that's not on Mondays because we have a lot of people off on Mondays. We have several people that don't work on Mondays. So we pick the day where everybody works.
But if you want to have one-on-ones and you have everybody there once a week and you're trying to grab them, so you're not getting all of them, right?
No.
Okay.
No, but usually within the month, I've talked to everybody.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm assuming they're relatively short discussions.
Yeah, just how are things going? And I let them know. It's basically, what can I do for you? Is there anything I can do for you right now? Is there any questions you have? How are you feeling about everything? I just want them to know that I noticed that when I changed my feelings towards I need to keep them, so I need to do everything I can to keep them. What can I do for you? Is there anything I could be doing for you right now that would make things easier for you? Is there anything, how are things going with your schedule? So I just make a point to let them know that I'm available.
What you just said there is kind of obvious when you think about it, but I'm not sure if many people think about it that way. I really care about you being part of our team, and I'm committed to doing what I can reasonably do to make that happen. Mm-hmm. How can I help you help me? That is strong.
Mm-hmm. And it's, I hear people, make comments and stuff about, well, I don't care about their dog or their their sick dog or whatever. But I'm like, but I need houses done. So I care, if I treat them same, if there's death in the family, treat them just like I would Miss Smith. We had somebody out this week. I sent flowers. I sent a card, same as I would a client. I want to make sure they know I'm here.
Robin Murphy has a question.
Mm-hmm.
She wants to know about, I guess, multi-language,
Mm-hmm.
English, Spanish. Are you managing one or the other or both? And does that create any special challenges with this, the heavy communication that you're doing?
No, because if I need a translator, that's available for me. So I have several people that will translate for me if needed. But it's nothing that would be an issue.
We actually that doesn't can't communicate in English on
A
some
little bit,
level.
yeah.
Yeah. Probably one of the few companies in Houston, but we have a very diverse community. And so we actually,
we can't hear you.
oh
Oh.
no.
No, you're back. You're back now. Good.
Okay.
I don't know what happened. You went silent there just for a second.
Yeah, sorry. I think every time my phone rings, because we had to do this on the phone, it knocks out the audio.
For people to stop calling you until top of the hour anyway.
Yeah.
I know you're busy.
Yeah. So interesting enough, I honestly, right now at this moment, I don't think we have anybody that's even like I will sometimes say they're shy with English, and I don't even think we shy with English right now.
No, because no, not right now.
Okay. Denise, just giving you a shout out, Candice. Loves to change an attitude. Makes a great difference. So evidently, Denise has some history and can.
Oh. Yeah.
The before and after, huh?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, there's a lot going on here, and the details matter and the execution matters, but just that type of caring, it's like, I really need you to be successful here. And it's, I'm committed to, like, what can I do to help you be successful here? I need you. That's strong.
Yeah. In the beginning, it was difficult because I had to change that tune, and I had to convince myself. But once I realized that I need them to be there because I don't want to stress out the schedule or keep moving clients, I believed it. I felt it. I did not want to call a client and reschedule at all or be short staffed or anything. I wanted them there.
Because you could very easily, and I've seen this happen, slip into well, I guess we have to hire, 2 more people because we just lost 2, and it's almost like mechanical. There's no emotion to it. There's no, lost 2 more people. Well, it figures, it was about time. It just, that's the way it always works. And without any, caring or emotion to it at all. So that probably leaves the door open to a lot more turnover.
Well, somebody recently mentioned hiring, like kind of like settling when you're hiring. And my office staff has told me many times in the last couple of years that my hiring has greatly improved because I just put some lines in the sand that I'm just not gonna settle for. This is so silly and it's hard to believe. And if I wasn't doing it myself, I wouldn't believe it. But do you know, I asked in the very beginning of the interview, are you looking for a permanent position or a short-term position? And very often they'll say short-term, 3 months, or whatever. And I'm like, okay, we're not the job for you. But I actually will send them over to like handy.com or something. I go, well, I can't hire you short-term, but here, go to this website, apply there. They'll hire you short-term.
Okay. I love it. I mean, that is, dang. Sometimes it's the obvious stuff that makes the most difference, isn't it?
In 1 week, I had 3 people tell me that they were looking for short-term positions under 6 months. And so those are 3 people.
You gotta ask. Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to hire somebody that is only going to be there 6 months. We're not there anymore, where we feel like we need to do that.
It's very easy to settle though. It's like, I need to hire 2 people this week and I'm going to pick the 2, the best bad alternatives I have. And that doesn't necessarily get you out of the hole, does it?
We have 34 employees Robin, we have 34 employees that are currently off training and solos.
Well, this is really, really awesome, actually. I think that we've touched upon a lot of important points. I mean, this is almost like a Mr. Obvious type show. I haven't heard anything here. No, but I mean, it's useful. And I'm like, dang, that makes a lot of sense. But, a lot of times we don't do the obvious stuff, do we?
System. It has to be in a system. I have all my questions in job form. I ask the same questions every time. I track it. Oh, I'm tracking this. That's not working. Take that out of there. That's not giving me any good information. Add this to it. That's why I've kept it. It's kind of fun. Tracking all the data, the personalities, So it's all in this.
And you're keeping your score, I guess. It's some people play Wordle and some people hire technicians.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay away from Wordle and keep hiring technicians.
Good for you. Good for you. Well, in the couple of minutes we have left here, are there any last thoughts that you'd like to leave us with?
I think sometimes when we get around other cleaning services, we kind of hear that frustration. But I feel like the time investment that we're making with people is well worth, right? So it takes that layer of uncertainty. There was a time when we had no call, no shows regularly. That was a regular occurrence. That was how people quit. They just wouldn't show up. Now we still have people quit. But when I look at the last 10 people that have quit our company, probably 7 of them had quality score issues. Right. Okay. And so they were getting write-ups and they were on probation and we were going through the processes. So they were leaving because the job wasn't a good fit.
But we still got thanked for being an awesome job and they wish it.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that matters because they have friends who are looking for jobs too, and they might be better cleaners.
Well, and as long as we're, kind and respectful, just be kind and respectful, and so if we keep that, then, and I remind them too, if your dog's sick, if Candice's dog got sick, I would expect her not to be at work that day. I would expect that she would be at the vet with her sick dog. And so when our cleaning technicians have a sick cat and they're in a panic because their cat's sick, I'm not going to make a big fuss that they aren't coming to work that day because they're going to the vet. I want them to go to the vet. Go to the vet. You're sick. Your cat's sick.
No, life happens, doesn't it? So we are at the top of the hour. Again, this was good. This was always fun. And when Liz, told me the other week that she wasn't going to be here this week, it's like, okay, I guess I'm gonna, have to work hard. I'm to the point where I try not to work hard when I don't have to. And then it was like, well, Diana and Candice are going to be the guests. It's like, oh, I'll make popcorn and sit back. I won't have to do it.
We're talkers.
You guys are awesome. I appreciate your help. Thanks for sharing. So,
fun, Tom. And we are really looking forward to seeing you in April.
We're going to have fun. We had fun last week, and we have a full house. We sold out. We have a few spots left for May. We're talking about May Central Academy Live event. It's a training event for Maid Central partners, but I think you'll like it. We got a lot of good feedback last week.
Well, Candice and I'll be there for the beginning of it, and then I'm leaving and Chad's coming in. So you'll see all of us, just not all at once. We have to tag team. Those two. Oh, whatever. We're coming in for a second. I don't know. Chad and I will be there at different times.
Okay. I'm sure you have a plan. That sounds interesting. I can't wait to see that in action. I can't wait to see you guys. Thanks again.
Thank you.
We're done for today. We'll be back next Wednesday, 5 o'clock Eastern time for another Smart Business Moves. Again, Diana, Candice, thanks a bunch. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.